Welcome back to the Deep Dive from Tech Talk Central. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Nathan.
Today we have a really fascinating mission. We're settling one of the biggest battles in modern TVs.
Oh, yeah. The ultimate affordable premium 4K HDR fight.
Exactly. We're looking at the 2025 lineup, specifically two 55-inch heavy hitters, the Hisense 55U65QF versus the TCL 55QM6K.
And this is such a great comparison because they're both using mini LED and QLED to, really punch far above their weight class.
Right. We've got the full spec sheets provided by a listener, and our job is to unpack them. We're going to figure out which one gives you better value, better performance on paper.
It's a phenomenal time to be a buyer. I mean, the specs we're about to talk about were flagship-only features just a couple of years ago.
Oh.
So, okay, let's unpack this, starting with what really makes these displays premium affordable.
Okay, so the common ground here is incredibly strong.
It is.
They're both 55-inch 4K UHD. They both use that killer combo of mini LED backlighting and QLED for color.
So technically, they're starting from, a very similar place. The war is really won in the details.
And before we get to those details, let's talk speed.
Absolutely. The native refresh rate. This is the core spec for smooth motion, whether you're watching sports or gaming.
And both of them feature a native refresh rate of 144 Hz.
Which is just fantastic in this price bracket. Huge win for you, the consumer.
Now, they both mention this other term, motion rate 480. Can you clarify that for us?
Right. So it's important to separate these. The 144 Hz is the real physical capability of the panel. Motion rate 480 is it's a marketing term. It's about software interpolation, making things look even smoother.
So the 144 Hz is the true number to focus on.
That's the one. It's the unmanipulated speed foundation.
Okay, so once we get past that shared speed, the differences really start to show up in contrast and brightness.
This is where mini LED is supposed to shine, literally. It all comes down to the local dimming zones.
And the Hisense gives us a very concrete number here.
It does. The 55U65QF specifies up to 600 local dimming zones.
Which is a lot. And for brightness, it's just as specific, up to 1,000 nits peak brightness. For someone watching at home, what does 1,000 nits actually look like?
It looks like realism. I mean, think of a movie like Dune. A spaceship glinting in the sun, a bright explosion in a dark scene. Those are called specular highlights.
Yeah.
1,000 nits makes those highlights pop with an intensity that, say, a 500 nit TV just can't physically produce.
It's that HDR wow factor.
Exactly.
So how does the TCL stack up in that same area?
Well, the TCL is a little more guarded with its numbers. It says up to LD500 precise dimming.
So implying around 500 zones, 100 fewer than the Hisense.
Right. And for brightness, they just use the term high HDR brightness.
Which, to me, is always a bit of a red flag. If it was 1,100 nits, they'd be shouting it from the rooftops.
I completely agree. It usually means it's competitive, but maybe not hitting that same benchmark number. Instead, TCL is really pushing its software, the Halo control system.
What does that do?
It's designed to intelligently reduce that blooming effect. The halo you sometimes see around bright objects on a black screen. So, Hisense is using brute force, more zones, more light, while TCL is betting its software can deliver a cleaner picture with slightly less hardware.
But on paper, the raw numbers advantage goes to Hisense, no question.
Undeniably.
Okay, let's talk about the brains of the operation, the processing engines that manage all this.
Two different philosophies here. TCL uses its TCL AIPQ processor, which is known for great scene-by-scene optimization. Very cinematic.
And Hisense has the HiView AI engine. They market this as a kind of total system manager. It's not just AI picture, but AI sound, AI scenario, even AI energy.
It suggests a more holistic approach for sure. And what's fascinating is how that translates to HDR support.
This is where it gets really interesting.
They both support the basics, Dolby Vision, HDR10 plus ALOS, the usual suspects. But Hisense goes way further with what they call the total HDR solution.
Which includes the adaptive versions. This is a huge premium feature.
It's a massive deal. The specs list Dolby Vision IQ and HDR10 plus adaptive, and even advanced HDR by Technicolor. This is a clear spec win.
And just so you at home know why IQ or adaptive matters so much, there's a little light sensor in the TV.
Right.
So if you're watching a dark movie and someone opens the curtains, the sun streams in.
The TV automatically adjusts the HDR picture so you can still see all the detail in the shadows. It re-optimizes on the fly. You don't have to touch a thing.
And that kind of feature used to cost thousands. It means the Hisense is designed to look great in almost any room, under any lighting condition.
A huge practical advantage.
Okay, let's shift to audio. Both have built-in subwoofers. Both support Dolby Atmos.
Yep, but TCL comes with some brand recognition here. It has an on-KYO speaker system built in.
On-KYO is a well-respected name in audio. That implies a certain level of quality and fidelity in the speakers themselves.
It does. Hisense, on the other hand, gives us the raw power spec.
Yeah.
It also has a built-in sub, but they specify 40 watts output.
So it's brand trust versus raw power.
Pretty much. On-KYO suggests clarity. 40 watts from Hisense guarantees it can get loud for action movies or sports without you needing a soundbar right away.
That brings us to gaming. A 144 hertz panel is just begging to be used for gaming.
It really is. And the key feature beyond refresh rate is variable refresh rate, or VRR. That's what eliminates screen tearing.
And once again, the Hisense spec sheet is just way more detailed.
It's a gamer's dream on paper. It lists 144 Hz Game Mode Pro. It gives you a super clear VRR range of 48 Hz to 144 Hz, and it has the official AMD FreeSync Premium certification.
That VRR range is so important. It means even if your game's frame rate dips, the screen stays perfectly in sync. It's maximum assurance for a PC or modern console gamer.
Meanwhile, the TCL, again, it's more marketing focused. It mentions Game Accelerator 240.
What does that even mean?
Well, it probably implies 120 Hz gaming with some kind of software smoothing, but it doesn't confirm that wide VRR range or, crucially, that FreeSync certification.
So for a serious gamer, the Hisense is the much safer bet based on these specs.
I would say so. And that brings us to maybe the single biggest deal breaker of all.
The operating system.
Yep. This has almost nothing to do with picture quality, but everything to do with how you use the TV every day.
The TCL runs on Google TV.
Which is great if you're in the Google ecosystem. Google Assistant, Nest products. It's a very streamlined, content-first interface.
And the Hisense runs on Fire TV with Alexa built in.
So if your smart home is run by Amazon, if you use Prime Video a lot, this will feel right at home. It's a pure ecosystem choice for you.
It really is. One quick physical note before we summarize. Weight.
Oh, that's a good one.
If you're wall mounting, the TCL is only 27.3 pounds. The Hisense is 43 pounds. That's a pretty big difference for installation.
It absolutely is. Something to keep in mind. Okay, let's tie this all together.
Let's do it. So for the TCL 55QM6K, the big strengths are it's much lighter, you get that trusted on-KY audio branding, and it runs on Google TV, which many people prefer.
Right. And its picture quality relies more on its ALO control software.
Then you have the Hisense 55U65QF. Its strengths are all about those hard, high numbers.
1000 nits peak brightness, 600 dimming zones, the more advanced adaptive HDR with Dolby Vision IQ, and those very specific verified gaming specs like AMD FreeSync Premium. And of course, it runs on Fire TV.
So what does this all boil down to for you, the person trying to make a decision?
I think if you prioritize getting the absolute best picture quality that the specs can promise, maximum contrast, cutting-edge HDR that adapts to your room, and verified top-tier gaming features, the Hisense 55U65QF wins this battle on paper.
The numbers are just higher and more specific.
They are, but if smooth software integration with your Google Smart Home is your top priority, and you value the assurance of on-KYO branded audio, the TCL is a fantastic alternative, especially if you're not a fan of the Fire TV interface.
It's just amazing what you can get in the mid-range now. So the final provocative thought for you is this. The Hisense offers these clear, incremental gains in picture processing and hardware specs.
So the real question becomes, are those extra 100 dimming zones and that adaptive HDR technology more important to you than your preferred smart TV operating system?
Is it about the absolute best picture, or is it about the comfort and convenience of the ecosystem you already live in?
Only you can answer that one.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the 2025 mid-range TV battle.
To find the latest prices and deals for both the Hisense 55U65QF and the TCL 55QM6K, be sure to check out the links in the description below.
And if you enjoyed this spec-by-spec breakdown, please subscribe to our channel, Tech Talk Central, for more deep dives.
We'll see you next time.